Hello everyone. Welcome to IAS. Let's discuss today's prelims topics. Question 1 with reference to the recently held Petersburg Dialogue on Climate Change, consider the following statements. 1. It was hosted by Germany and Qatar, which is hosting the 28th Conference of Parties, COP28, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. 2. The agenda calls for coal phase-out by 2030 in Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development countries and by 2040 in all others, as well as achieving net zero electricity generation and decarbonizing major sectors. 3. 2023 is the year for the global stocktake, which is essentially a periodic review of global climate action which aims to assess whether current efforts will enable us to reach the objectives set out in the Paris Agreement. Which of the following given above are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 3 only. C. 1, 2 and 3. D. 2 and 3 only. The answer is D. It was hosted by Germany and the United Arab Emirates, which is hosting the 28th Conference of Parties, COP28, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. In order to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, the world needs to make sharp cuts in its greenhouse gas emissions. This is the first global stocktake year since the Paris Agreement was signed in 2015 and the report has been underway for the past 2 years. It is set to be released in September of 2023. Question 2. India's agri-exports have, in recent times, been powered by 3 items. 1. Wheat. 2. Rice. 3. Sugar. Which of the following given above are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 1 only. C. 1, 2 and 3. D. 2 and 3 only. The answer is D. India's agri-exports have, in recent times, been powered by 3 items: marine products, rice and sugar. Marine product exports have grown steadily from $5.02 billion in 2013 to 2014 to $8.08 billion in 2022 to 1923. Rice exports have also gone up during this period, from $7.79 billion to $11.14 billion. But it's been driven by non-basmati rice, more than doubling, from $2.93 billion to $6.36 billion, with the value of premium-priced basmati shipments actually declining from $4.86 billion to $4.79 billion. Basmati exports are mainly to the Persian Gulf countries and, to some extent, the US and UK. Non-basmati shipments are more diversified, with the destinations spread across Asia, Bangladesh, China, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Vietnam, UAE, and Iraq, and Africa, from Senegal, Ivory Coast, and Benin to Somalia and Madagascar. It's non-basmati that has made India the biggest rice exporter, ahead of Thailand. Question 3 with reference to regulations for tackling misleading ads and claims in India, consider the following statements. 1. FSSAI uses the Food Safety and Standards, Advertisements and Claims, Regulations, 2018 which specifically deal with food and related products, while Central Consumer Protection Authority, CCPA's regulations cover goods, products and services. 2. The program and advertising codes prescribed under the Cable Television Network Rules, 1994 stipulate that advertisements must not draw inferences that it has some special or miraculous or supernatural property or quality, which is difficult of being proved. 3. FSSAI seeks that the advertisements and claims be truthful, unambiguous, meaningful, not misleading, and help consumers to comprehend the information provided. Which of the following given above is are correct? A. 2 only. B. 1 and 3 only. C. 1, 2 and 3. D. 2 and 3 only. The answer is C. FSSAI seeks that the advertisements and claims be truthful, unambiguous, meaningful, not misleading, and help consumers to comprehend the information provided. Claims must be scientifically substantiated by validated methods of characterizing or quantifying the ingredient or substance that is the basis for the claim. Product claims suggesting suitability for prevention, alleviation, treatment, or cure of a disease, disorder, or particular psychological condition are prohibited unless specifically permitted under the regulations of the FSS Act, 2006. Question 4. Why does India not have a law to recall bad drugs from the market? Why is this issue been pending for so long in India with no redress? Possible answers are: 1. The drug regulation section of the Union Health Ministry is simply not up to the task of tackling complex drug regulatory issues due to a combination of different factors including apathy, lack of expertise in the area, and a greater interest in enabling the growth of the pharmaceutical industry than protecting public health. 2. India's highly fragmented regulatory structure, with each state having its own drug regulator. 3. India's drug regulators are aware of the fact that a mandatory drug recall system, which necessarily has to be centered on a system of wide publicity, will bring to public attention to the rotten state of affairs in India's pharmaceutical industry. Which of the following given above is are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 1 and 3 only. C. 1, 2 and 3. D. 3 only. Answer is C. The first is that the drug regulation section of the Union Health Ministry is simply not up to the task of tackling complex drug regulatory issues due to a combination of different factors including apathy, lack of expertise in the area, and a greater interest in enabling the growth of the pharmaceutical industry than protecting public health. The second possible factor is India's highly fragmented regulatory structure, with each state having its own drug regulator. But despite the fragmentation, drugs manufactured in one state can seamlessly cross borders to be sold in all states around the country. To create an effective recall mechanism, the responsibility of recalling drugs has to be centralized, with one authority that has the legal power to hold companies liable for failures to recall drugs from across the country, and further, to also search and seize batches of failed medicine. Question 5. With reference to I-to-U2 group, consider the following statements about. 1. I-to-U2 stands for India, Indonesia, the UAE, and the US, and was also referred to as the West Asian Quad. 2. Its aim is to discuss common areas of mutual interest, to strengthen the economic partnership in trade and investment in our respective regions and beyond. 3. To encourage joint investments in water, energy, transportation, space, health, and food security. Which of the following given above is are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 3 only. C. 1, 2 and 3. D. 2 and 3 only. Answer is D. I-to-U2 stands for India, Israel, the UAE, and the US, and was also referred to as the West Asian Quad by Ahmad Al-Banna, ambassador of the UAE to India. 6 areas of cooperation have been identified by the countries mutually, and the aim is to encourage joint investments in water, energy, transportation, space, health, and food security. With the help of private sector capital and expertise, the countries will look to modernize infrastructure, explore low-carbon development avenues for industries, improve public health, and promote the development of critical emerging and green technologies. The Abraham Accords of 2020 led to Israel formally normalizing diplomatic ties with the UAE and to other countries in the region, marking an important shift in the stance of West Asian countries on Israel. Question 6. With reference to multimodal logistics parks in India, MMLPs, consider the following statements. 1. It is a key policy initiative of the Government of India, led by National Highways Logistics Management Limited under the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, MoRTH, and the National Highways Authority of India, NHAI. To improve the country's freight logistics sector by lowering overall freight costs and time, cutting warehousing costs, reducing vehicular pollution and congestion, and improving the tracking and traceability of consignments through infrastructural, procedural, and information technology interventions. 3. India's first international multimodal logistics park being constructed at Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. Which of the following given above are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 1 and 3 only. C. 1, 2 and 3. D. 2 only. The answer is A. India's first international multimodal logistics park is being constructed at Jogigopa, Assam. MMLP is officially defined as a freight handling facility with a minimum area of 100 acres, 40.5 hectares, with various modes of transport access, mechanized warehouse, specialized storage solutions such as cold storage, facilities for mechanized material handling and intermodal transfer container terminals, and bulk and breakbulk cargo terminals. Logistics parks will also provide value-added services such as customs clearance with bonded storage yards, quarantine zones, testing facilities, and warehousing management services. Provisions will also be made for late-stage manufacturing activities such as kitting and final assembly, grading, sorting, labeling and packaging activities, reworking, and returns management. Question 7. Consider the following statements about Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage, INTACH. 1. It is a non-profit charitable organization registered under the Societies Registration Act of 1860. 2. In 2007, the United Nations awarded INTACH a special consultative status with United Nations Economic and Social Council. 3. The Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage, INTACH, was founded in 1984 in Kolkata with the vision to spearhead heritage awareness and conservation in India. Which of the following given above are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 1 and 3 only. C. 1, 2 and 3. D. 2 and 3 only. The answer is A. INTACH was founded in 1984 in New Delhi with the vision to create a membership organization to stimulate and spearhead heritage awareness and conservation in India. Since 1984, INTACH has pioneered the conservation and protection of India's natural and cultural heritage and is today the largest membership organization in the country dedicated to conservation. Today it has chapters in 215 Indian cities, as well as chapters in Belgium and the United Kingdom. Question 8. Consider the following statements about World Thalassemia Day. 1. Thalassemia is an inherited disorder where the oxygen-carrying proteins in the blood, also known as hemoglobin and red blood cells, are lesser than normal. 2. World Thalassemia Day, observed on 8th May annually. 3. This year, the theme of World Thalassemia Day is Be Aware, Trust, Care. Which of the following given above are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 3 only. C. 1, 2 and 3. D. 2 and 3 only. The answer is A. This year, the theme of World Thalassemia Day is Be Aware, Share, Care. Thank you, everyone. Do subscribe to this channel. Use code SPLIVE to join Unacademy.